Meet Adam. Adam works as a practice administrator at General Medical Center, an innovative organization participating in the Million Hearts model. He and his team have decided that it will be Adam's responsibility to support enrollment of eligible Medicare beneficiaries from their organization into the model.
How do I enroll my patients in the Million Hearts model?
All participating organizations will follow a standard process to enroll eligible Medicare beneficiaries. This process consists of 4 steps: enrollment, validation, alignment, and adjudication, or EVAA. By following these 4 steps, your organization will be able to successfully enroll your eligible Medicare beneficiaries in the model to support Million Hearts model goals and collect payments for your efforts.
Got it. Can you walk me through exactly how to complete the 4 steps of the EVAA process?
Sure. Let's start at the beginning with enrollment. During this step, you will use the Million Hearts Model Data Registry to submit demographic and clinical data for any Medicare beneficiary you believe to be eligible. You can find eligibility criteria in your onboarding packet.
How often should I enter patient data for enrollment?
At a minimum, your organization is required to submit beneficiaries for enrollment at least once every 6 months if you are in the intervention group, and at least once every year if you are in the control group. Although control group participants are encouraged to submit data every 6 months as well. However, you can submit data to enroll a beneficiary at any time during the model, as long as the data is collected during an in-person visit with that beneficiary.
Makes sense. I'll plan to submit clinical and demographic data on the patients that I think could be eligible when they come in for their next visit. Now, what happens during the validation step?
During validation, CMS will validate the eligibility of your Medicare beneficiaries for enrollment by comparing the data you submit to the master Medicare data. CMS will use the same eligibility criteria listed in your onboarding packet. Using Medicare claims, CMS will also identify any of your organization's eligible Medicare beneficiaries who were not submitted for enrollment. Your next step is to submit the clinical and demographic data for those eligible patients. If you feel that the patient is not, in fact, eligible or is not appropriate for inclusion in the MH model, you will need to report that information through the registry during the adjudication step. CMS will also recheck all of your enrolled beneficiaries every 6 months to confirm that each of them has remained eligible for participation. CMS will inform you if any patient is no longer eligible.
Great. So we've covered enrollment and validation. What about the alignment step?
During the alignment step, CMS will assign eligible beneficiaries submitted for enrollment to the appropriate participating organization for the purposes of the model. The alignment process will confirm that a patient you submit for enrollment is in fact seen by your care team. He will then be considered part of your organization's patient population when tracking risk reduction.
That seems simple enough, but what if one of our patients also sees a provider at another organization participating in the Million Hearts model?
If a patient visits more than one participating organization for his care, he will be aligned to the first organization who submits his enrollment data. If multiple organizations submit the patient for enrollment in the same performance period, CMS will align him to the organization that he has visited most in the last 2 years, even if he continues to see providers at both locations.
Okay, so that process will ensure that the correct patients are aligned to my organization during the model. After this step, I have submitted my patients' data, CMS has validated whether or not they are eligible, and they have been aligned to my organization. What does the adjudication step involve?
Adjudication may be necessary if your organization believes that a patient who has been aligned to another participant organization should be aligned to your organization. After the validation and alignment processes, you will be able to view your list of beneficiaries submitted for enrollment on the data page of the MH Model Data Registry with an associated enrollment status. Once your organization receives this list of beneficiaries, You will have 30 days to submit sufficient evidence to dispute any of the alignments made by CMS. If you have any questions concerning the alignment of a beneficiary, contact your MH Project Officer through the Post portal. Your MH Project Officer will be assigned to your organization prior to the beginning of the model. A beneficiary will remain aligned to the attributed practice until an MH Project Officer determines otherwise.
Sounds good to me. I'll make sure to log into the MH Model Data Registry regularly so that I can address any questions around our patient statuses. Can you go into more detail about the timing of the different phases of the EVAA process?
Once you have access to the MH Model Data Registry, you can submit patient data for enrollment at any time. But keep in mind, intervention group participants are required to submit new patients for enrollment at least once in every 6-month performance period, and control group participants are required to submit new patients for enrollment at least once annually. Every month, all complete patient enrollment data that your team has entered that month will be submitted to CMS through the MH Model Data Registry. That is when the registry data will be validated for eligibility in the model. After this process is completed each month, information about your patient's enrollment status will be updated on the MH Model Data Registry data page for you to view. You will then have 30 days to dispute alignment of beneficiaries through the adjudication process. Finally, every 6 months, CMS will revalidate that all of your enrolled beneficiaries have remained eligible, as well as identify any eligible beneficiaries that your organization did not submit for enrollment.
Great. I'm eager to start enrolling my patients so that we can start contributing to the Million Hearts model and receive payments for our efforts.
Great. Let's review the process one more time. You can begin the enrollment step at any time by submitting a beneficiary's demographic and clinical information to the MHM Data Registry. During validation, CMS will confirm that the beneficiaries you submit are eligible for the model. During alignment, CMS will confirm that all appropriate eligible beneficiaries are assigned to your organization for the purposes of the model. And you will use the adjudication step to address any questions or disputes you might have regarding the alignment of one of your beneficiaries with your MH Model Project Officer. Completing these 4 steps allows you to enroll and submit your beneficiaries' data throughout the model.
What if I have more questions about this process and how it applies to my organization?
You can contact the MH Model Help Desk for more information. Please also consult additional materials on this topic contained in your onboarding packet. Your organization should also be receiving information from the MH Model team via email from the address cmslists@subscriptions.cms.hhs.gov. Contact the help desk if you are not receiving these communications.
That sounds great. Thank you for teaching me how to enroll my patients.
Thank you for participating in the Million Hearts model.